All right, so we're continuing on with Chaitanya Bhagavat from the meeting of Nityananda. I think that's what this is here. Yeah. So anyway, this is... Anyway, it's in somewhere in Chaitanya Bhagavat. I'm going to lose my place. So the Lord is showing his Varaha form to Murari Gupta. So he says, my limbs are supremely pure. They contain all yagnas within them. Brahma, Shiva, and all the demigods sing the glories of my nature in pastimes. See? So the demigods, they realize that this is really true. The Lord's limbs are supremely pure, and all yagnas reside in them. You know, once Lord Chaitanya said, Haridas, at every moment you are taking your bath in the Ganges. Every moment, because he was chanting the name, and the Lord was touching. See, like it says here, the touch of my limbs makes everything pure and sacred. Still, this fellow in Varanasi says that my body is an illusion. How can I tolerate that? See, that's that Brahman level of realization again. You think that's it. You think it's just you're not the body, and you're, you know, if the form of God is introduced either in the name, it's like chanting Coca-Cola. That's what what these yogis say. Ones who are worshipped by thousands of people, you know, say, oh, chanting the name of Krishna is just like chanting Coca-Cola. See, but that's the actual limb of God. He's non-different than his name. He's not different than his form. He's not different than his pastimes or qualities. So the Lord just beautifully teaches, you know, in this incarnation as Lord Chaitanya, the essence of truth. See, so anyway, this is what we're up against, is being, you know, understanding. The demigods understand and worship the form of God in his pastimes and his qualities. This is the deepest form of realization that we can get. For the connoisseurs of worshiping the Lord, they worship the form of Krishna, Lord Chaitanya to get to Krishna. Please listen, O Murari. I will tell you the truth. I will tell you the secret of the Vedas. I am Lord Varaha. I am the truth described in the Vedas. In ancient times I rescued the earth. See, so the Lord is revealing this very intimate truth. You know, this is this is Bhakti Yoga, the revelation of intimate truth to those who are non-envious of the Lord saying stuff like this, so confidential. It's why devotees, they can't share, you know, directly about anything that they're realizing usually, because people misunderstand and think it's ego and all these things. So the Lord reveals these amazing things to those who are very dear to him and those who are not. You know, they've overcome envy and jealousy, wanting to be equal with God. This is so hard to get through. I am Lord. Please listen, O Murari Gupta. I will tell you the truth. I tell you the secret of the Vedas. I will tell you the secret of the Vedas. I am Lord Varaha. I am the truth described in the Vedas. In ancient times I rescued the earth. I have described to this world. Now this is so important, actually. So the Lord is saying, I am the truth. Just like Jesus said, I am the truth. This is so true. This ultimate truth is the incarnation of God. The ultimate truth is Jesus. The ultimate truth is Lord Varaha. The ultimate truth is Krishna. The ultimate truth is Lord Chaitanya. The ultimate truth is his devotees. They're eternal, just like the Lord is eternal. The ultimate truth is important to keep in mind. I have descended to this world to begin the Sankirtan movement. I will stay among the devotees and I will kill the demons. See, the Sankirtan movement is chanting the name. You know, even Christians are engaged in the Sankirtan movement because they're chanting the name of God. That's why there's some that have reached the level of ecstasy that are non-judgmental. So, that's Sankirtan. Sankirtan is simply chanting the names of God. Lord Chaitanya said that in this age of Kali, the religion of the age is remembering Krishna and reminding others of Krishna. See, so you can't remind them without opening your mouth and chanting the names of God. See, that's it. That's it, man. That's the Sankirtan movement. Is a very quick way to awaken our relationship with God in our heart. That's why people often they watch these videos or they hear somebody glorifying the Jesus in the Bible or Krishna like this, and they feel that awakening, which doesn't usually happen in other ways. That's how powerful this Sankirtan movement is, and why it's really, if you don't engage in somehow on some level of Sankirtan, we won't, it's like ineffective what we do here, because this Kali Yuga is so powerful. Okay? So powerful. But you know what, I want to read a verse that's really important, because we can't always, not all of it, we're kind of like mixed bags, it's not like we can be Haridas Thakur or Lord Chaitanya, they're all going around chanting all the time, right? Mixed bags. So you got to take help from Bhagavad Gita and understand things in perspective, to help make progress, so we, otherwise we can get, go a little crazy. So here in Bhagavad Gita, this is karma yoga. We need to have a little bit of that in our lives also, because that's our levels, So, bewildered by, this is Bhagavad Gita 3:29. Bewildered by the modes of nature, the ignorant fully engage themselves in material activities and become attached. But the wise should not unsettle them, although these duties are inferior to the performer's lack of knowledge. Therefore, Arjuna, surrendering all your works unto me, with full knowledge of me, without desires for profit, with no claims of proprietorship, and free from lethargy, fight. So as not to disrupt the minds of ignorant men attached to fruit of results of prescribed duties, a learned person should not induce them to stop work. Rather, by working in the spirit of devotion, he should engage them in all sorts of activities for the gradual development of Krishna consciousness. This is what Prabhupada was so expert in this. He knew his disciples couldn't just sit there and chant all day, most of them. They just, you can't do it because they had to work, and he engaged them in all kinds of duties to work for the development of their consciousness and also the development of Krishna's, like working for Krishna's sake in this world. See, when you engage, if you want to serve Krishna, you serve the Vaishnavas who are serving Guru. And they are a little more expert with us, and they're just see. It's like you work together for the cause. It's like a mission, and we need that because otherwise it'll be like this. I'll show you right here. This other verse. I'll read it again. Bewildered by the modes of nature, the ignorant fully engage themselves in material activities and become attached. See, if we're not working for the Vaishnavas who are working for the interest of Krishna, if I'm not serving Prabhupada, serving Prabhupada, if I'm not working for the interest of Krishna, which he does, serving the order, then I'll just do material activities for my own self, and won't be clear, and I will just become attached for no reason. See, but it becomes a purifying activity when I'm working for Krishna. See, Krishna was acting as Guru for Arjuna. Arjuna says, "Oh, you're like my master. Tell me what to do, because I can't tell. I don't understand. Not clear." He says, "Work for me. See? Work for the Vaishnavas. Work for practical service to Krishna in this world. See, if that's if you have heart for this mission, okay? and you in doing that, then we get clear, purified, all of this. We become one-pointed. Very important to be focused and one-pointed. Otherwise, our attention's here. Maybe I need to do pious activities over here to help everybody over there, and do this, that. See, there's no focus. See? Think of me, work for me. See, and then we have focus. It's like for myself, I'm just focused on Prabhupada. Now I'm clear. I don't have to go over here all the way into the Jesus only and his mission, or into the New Age, or into this or that. Just stay focused on what was given in my path. So we all have to decide what is our path in life. But if one is a Vaishnava, the way we can do it is we have to think of Krishna, absorb ourselves in Krishna, and we can't chant all the time unless you're like really Maba, and we have to do different activities, working with the idea in mind. We're working for Krishna, working for the Vaishnavas, working for preaching. We have a mission. People even live longer with a mission. It says, people have a mission, they live longer. But otherwise we'll just fall into just not being clear and fruitive activities, and become attached to all this, and it's all about me, what I need to do for me, and become and all of this. Well, what is that in life? It's just so combination. This program is really nice because we absorb ourselves during the program here in hearing and chanting, and we can do that during the day also, and engage in whatever activities that we need to do to develop the mission. This is working for Krishna. Otherwise we'll just work for ourselves and what we need to do for our me and my, and all this, and then it gets really complicated. So so this is, I think, important integration. These just understanding. We have regular programs like this, and also doing our prescribed duties, and also have a mission, man. Otherwise, it's all about me and my life and all of this. So, and I know, see, Prabhupada could not accomplish what he accomplished without help. And I'm the same thing. Prabhupada gave me an order. I can't do what I want to do and is inspired to do without help. It's just bottom line. Otherwise, I was thinking I'd just go back to India and just go and, see what happens over there. Because I can't, how can we do this without help? I mean, it's a big thing. So Prabhupada had assistance, and people started, getting behind the mission. And then things started happening, because he couldn't do it on it. Nobody. It's just, that's the way it is. It's all opportunities to service, to purify. But that's the hard part for a lot of people, is most people are conditioned to think what's in the world is more important than relishing the name, the fame, the pastimes of the Lord. Which is the greatest treasure. You get that, you got everything, man. That's the kingdom of God. Is relishing devotional mellows, relishing what God, the happiness of God. See? That's where all our work is going to, as you put it, lead to where, like, we're working to develop that. See? So Krishna is very pleased by our being focused on going for that. See? So that's another part of the program, is to remind us of reality and where we're all going, if you're on this kind of a page. Otherwise, there's unlimited things to do out there, unlimited missions. You can feed the hungry. You can go and get some organization and you feed all the hungry. It's not bad, just whatever, your heart wants. This is what my heart wants. I want to relish what God relishes. It's kind of like this person was a Brahmin and he was poor, and he goes to this sage and says, I'm so poor, man, I want money, how can I get money? And the guy says, oh, very intelligently, it might have been Narada Muni, go over to that renounced person over there in Vrindavan over there and ask him, he'll give you money, he'll help you get money. And that person was, I think, Sanatan or Rupa. Say it was Sanatan. He goes over there. Say it was Rupa. Rupa. Yeah, so he goes over there and says, this sage told me, maybe it was Narada Muni, probably was, he's like that kind of mood. He kind of tricks you, he kind of cunningly tricks you into going for the real thing, because we're so ignorant, we don't know. Go over there, he said, go over there to you and ask, you would provide me a way to get money. So he said, yeah, you want money, no problem, yeah. Go over in the ditch over there. I threw this rock in that ditch over there. He threw it in the ditch, and there's all this garbage, and so you had to get the stool off it or whatever, But he was so hungry for money, he did it. He got all that, wiped it off. Oh, I get this touchstone, man. Yeah, he takes it. See? Takes it. But then he starts to think. See, a lot of Vaishnavas, they don't teach directly because we can't take it. Our egos, false egos, just, So he taught him indirectly. Yeah, go over that ditch and get that thing that I threw out there, So anyway, he does that, and then he starts to think, he must have something better. Let me go there and ask him. And then he got him into renunciation. See, he gave him the loincloth and all that. Well, that guy obviously was ready, but we're not ready. So if we have money, we have this propensity to work and everything, better to use it for serving the mission, man. If you get on a mission, you're going to live longer. You're going to get this greatest jewel ultimately. Krishna says, those who work for me, and working for Krishna means working for the Vaishnava's mission. Find it. If you don't like what we're doing here, go and find some Vaishnava and work for them. Best thing you can do. Or just if you really feel in your heart you're that person, you've got a mission, do it. And then we will get this great jewel quickly, because serving Vaishnava. You can even get it by doing these food, altruistic activities and going out there and generally feeding people and helping them and all that. You can do it like that also. It just takes a little more time. Service to the Vaishnavas is kind of a pristine path, because they know where it's all going, and we get more and more clear on what is the difference of the deepest realizations come through I mean, I actually put a status update about this here today. It's just the deepest realizations come from worshiping Krishna and those who worship Krishna with enthusiasm and intensity. Those who are really fixed on that. Worshipping Lord Chaitanya and Radha Krishna, same thing. And you got to do both anyway. The deepest realizations about what life is about, man. So that's for the connoisseurs. Connoisseurs are like that. So I don't know, whoever's on, if we work together somehow, then we can get off the ground. Otherwise, we'll just hobble along. I don't know, maybe this is good, we kind of think like this a little bit, throw this out into the ether there. It's part of being, reflecting reality and things the way it is, at least how I see it. Okay, I just wanted to throw that in there, and let's go back to Chaitanya Bhagavat. If you have any questions or comments, feel free. So, when I lifted the earth, her womb touched me. In this way, a powerful son named Naraka was born. I taught my son everything about religion. This is really interesting. When the Lord Varaha, you see, Lord Varaha is God. He lifted up the earth, and his, what did he say, the womb of the earth touched the Lord. See, the womb is like, I don't know, something inside the earth. And from that, there was a pregnancy that happened. And this is, see, when the Lord was lifting the earth, this is like when we're praying to God. We're praying to the Lord. At some point, we are lifted by that mercy. This is special mercy for the faithful. When we have faithful, I don't care who, incarnation, Jesus, Lord Chaitanya, Krishna, whatever you really have faith in, when the Lord comes to lift you, He's touching you, and then there's a pregnancy. You see? And the Lord says, I taught the earth all about religion, and that's when the Lord starts teaching within. He also teaches without. He teaches without with the Vaishnavas. If you're Vaishnava, the Vaishnavas. We get taught in these books. We get taught within. Even Jesus said, I came here to teach those who are taught by God. That means taught by God in the heart. You have to be basically pretty non-envious to do that. To be taught by God in the heart. So, because if the Lord touches us, we start to become cleansed of envy and jealousy and all these things. See, so, and we're taught like this. So these are very esoteric, these pastimes about, basically it shows you how God works. You just pray to Him, the earth was praying to the Lord, and the Lord was lifted, comes by mercy. We need to be lifted by God. That's the special mercy. Otherwise you see so many people, I see so many people in this world working by their own strength, and it is so hard. I feel really sorry for these people, but that's part of the purification, to realize you ultimately get frustrated. You know how responsible you have to be in this world? It blows my mind, and it's getting more heaped on us. The responsibility. You go and any little thing that happens, you're so responsible, man. You got to do it all yourself, and people are like, got this big weight on them, man. As a truck driver, how much responsibility there is to be. I went to school for 1 week. I saw, oh my God. You go down the road, these CHPs are licking their chops, waiting. Oh man, let me get one of those truckers. Man, I can give them a bunch of fines, and a lot of them you have to pay yourself.
There's a certain truth to what you say.
I know. I heard one guy went in. He went over a bridge where I saw this. They showed us all these videos. And one guy goes over a bridge that it was the wrong gross weight, and they gave him a $10,000 fine. He had to pay it himself. His wages. He had to work hard to get it. See. So anyway, the more we work for the Lord and stuff like that, we start to get released from that, because the more we get taste, see, the more we start to relish this, we become free, and for them there's no duty. So we're all kind of working towards that. We got to just somehow or other try and make it to that point, where there's really more taste than anything else. Otherwise, if you just do fruitive activities with no working for Krishna or God like this, it ends up, there's so much responsibility and weight, and it becomes so hard. But that's, it's like it helps break our spirit till we become frustrated ultimately and start worshiping the Lord. And being lifted and touched and taught by the Lord. So my son became a great king, and he protected the demigods, Brahmins, gurus, and devotees. Still, because of past karma, he fell into bad association. He associated with King Bana. Then he took pleasure in tormenting the devotees. So anyway, that's kind of, even devotees who have some advancement like this, this, it's like all of us. We can still fall in bad association. Okay? And then we have to learn from that, because that bad association may turn us. We may actually betray. It's just part of it. But the Lord will drag us more and more closer to the goal and understand, oh yeah, this is bad association. A lot of times we don't even realize it. It's very subtle sometimes. See, and in other words, you start to go against the Vaishnavas. It happened to me, I get it. You can, and this, I don't mean this to criticize or anything, but if anybody gets a connection with Lord Chaitanya and Krishna, you have to watch a little. I mean, you got to be a little careful amongst Christians even. And I'll tell you why. It's not a thing as bad to be bad or critical or anything. It's a thing about Christians don't have faith in Krishna. And this is a big thing, man, because they're going to reflect to you faithlessness in Krishna. So you got to be a little more distant. I mean, this is just how it is. I mean, we were given a great jewel dropped in our laps, and the worship of Krishna. So we got to have a little savvy about this. I know from experience, because anyone who doesn't have faith in Krishna, there has to be a little more distance. If you start to intimately, associate really intimately, you're going to start having some against Vaishnavas. You'll be, more, what's that word? Unsubmissive, basically. You get that because that's basically how it is. Vaishnavas have this, they receive things in a submissive, receptive way. That's how we get it. But you start associating with intimately with people who don't have that faith in Krishna, you're going to get their faithlessness. And that's just how it is. Otherwise, we just stay, neophytes do that. If you want to stay neophyte, then that's what you do. You just associate intimately with anyone and everything, and we stay neophyte. It's just a reality. Madhyam means you start to realize, okay, Krishna is my jewel. So I don't want to lose that. So let me associate intimately with Vaishnavas. Purely, let me associate with them so I can get more of this Krishna, get more strong like this. Yeah. Otherwise, there's so many people that we stay on the neophyte level by our association, our intimate association. You got to get that point, intimate. Nothing wrong with going on a job or going here and there and associating with people, but intimate association got to be a little more careful of. That's all. Save that for the Vaishnavas. So, all right. So still, because of bad karma, he fell into bad association. So that's our karma, our things that are, we're working on that. But the Lord is mercy. He's going to bring us all there, It's a matter of time. He associated with King Bala. Anybody who associates with Lord Chaitanya or Krishna and the devotees, we're all going to be dragged, to the ultimate destination. Somehow or other, the Lord will teach us. So I will not tolerate an attack on my servants. To protect my servants, I cut my son to pieces. So the son, we're all the sons of the Lord, and sometimes purification comes from the punishment. Just how it is. Gradually, where there's not so much need for that. Birth after birth you have served me. Therefore I have told you all this to you. And you see, the Lord he doesn't tell just anybody. I mean, I don't know, we shouldn't even speak about these things, but this is valuable for those who really, really want the Lord and want Krishna, want to understand how to get Krishna. We all need to have this reflected to us, to keep in mind, even though we can't even follow it. If anything has been said here, because some kind of heavy stuff, it might be, don't worry, even if we can't follow these things, because we just don't have the strength or anything, just another thing to pray for, and just keep in mind, and at the appropriate time, it'll all work. Sometimes these things are like reading Bhagavatam. It says, "What need is there for a bed when you can just go down into the forest and just lay your hand down like that and sleep?" Who can lay? Maybe when we get really advanced, we can be like this. Just baby steps. So, in this way, home after home, the Lord mercifully revealed his true identity to all his servants. Recognizing their Lord, all the servants felt great bliss in their hearts. That's what we're doing by chanting. It's just to recognize Krishna in the name. That even a moment's recognition is so wonderful, isn't it? When you're chanting sometimes for an hour, man, and then all of a sudden there's some recognition. Oh, that's Krishna, man. I feel you, man. I'm so happy to feel you. Even for a second, it just feels like, wow, my life is successful. I mean, that's the way I feel. If I can taste Krishna, whenever I experience some closeness with the Lord by chanting or doing something, some service, it's like, wow, my life is successful today. There's a beautiful pastime in Saints of Vraj, where one person was a Baba, and he realized Radha and Krishna, and then Radharani said, "I'm going to give you a service. You're going to be like a guru, and you're going to teach those how to attain me who have faith in me." See, it's all about faith. If you have faith in Jesus, then, you hang around the more advanced Christians, the better, and you get inspired and purified and also experiences and all of that. Okay? So anyway, this guru, Babaji, became like a teacher. And so anyway, he gets some disciples, and he's teaching them this Leela Smaranam, remembering, you remember the Leela, and you engage as a maidservant of Radharani like this. And so he's giving them some process. It's something that just came to him by his relationship with Radha and Krishna, because that's how we get it. We serve in association with those who are a little more advanced than we are, or a lot more advanced, whatever you can get, and in that way we make progress, because insights come and all of this through that association. So he engaged them in this Leela Smaranam type thing. So one day, this person was doing his Leela Smaranam, and he was decorating the arm of Radharani. And he just totally got stunned at the beauty of her arm. And it was like he got touched by the transcendental beauty. It just appeared to him. He just saw it, he got it. And he couldn't even move. He couldn't say anything. It was just, he couldn't do his service, of this Leela Smaranam. And so he goes to his guru later, he says, I am so sorry I couldn't finish my service of decorating the arm when I just saw the beauty. I just got stunned. I'm such a wretch. And his guru says, today he has been successful. He's the only one who's been successful in his service. See? To be touched by God, to feel that presence and closeness. Devotees live for that. That's Rajmood. We get that. I mean, I don't know, I've always appreciated this, and I feel so sorry for myself or anyone else that can't see that coming here, you get, because of sadhu sangha, it really amplifies the possibility to get that. I've seen so many people, and myself included, go away from that. That's what bad association does. Or offenses, you become haughty or something. But really, that's to commune with Krishna, to touch Krishna, is the greatest happiness. I mean, that's all God wants. He wants to touch his devotees. He wants to commune with his devotees. That gives him the ras, the greatest ras, this embracing his devotees. See, so the devotees also like that. They want to embrace the Lord, and it gives them the greatest happiness. So recognizing their Lord. So I don't know, for me, I just chanting every day is like, let me recognize you, Lord, that you're in your name, man. Because I know that recognition is going to give me great happiness. Great eagerness. The more you recognize the Lord in his name, in his fame, in his pastimes, you become more and more eager. And that is how we overcome the Maya. And if you're weak in that, the best place to be, actually another status update, it's so funny I put these things up there, I just felt to do it. Because if you're weak in that, then hang around, associate with those who are eager for that. Because then it's like a virus, you will get that eagerness also. And we need that help. It's kind of like you go to a trainer, personal trainer. If you want to develop the body, trying to do it on your own, no motivation, nothing. Go to a personal trainer who's very eager to engage in these things and, do the weights and all that. You go there and then you start, get motivated. Well, Bhakti Yoga is, we need a Bhakti boot camp. This here is a Bhakti boot camp too, we kind of, reflect reality. Hey, go do this, and we get a little more like, okay, I can do this. See, Bhakti Boot Camp. That's what we'll call this program, Bhakti Boot Camp. So, no longer were they afraid of the materialists and offenders. And if you want to overcome fear, don't go to a psychologist. You can if you want. You don't have to. Don't go to a tarot reader to be, all that. Don't go to anything else. Go to Krishna. Because the more we get connected with the Lord, you just overcome fearlessness. Fear flees. Fear is a symptom of lack of connection with the Lord. See? Fear. If you want to become fearless, if we, then we just associate with Krishna and the Vaishnavas, and we will overcome fear that way in due course. Otherwise, the other ways are just like Band-Aids. Maybe you get some relief temporarily. This is permanent. So a devotee, if they're in fear, they know it's just a lack of communion or connection with the Lord. Yeah. See, Arjuna was like, when Krishna left, he started to feel weak. And the fear and the doubts, all that stuff come up. If that's happening for any devotee, be around Vaishnavas who are a little stronger than us, or a lot stronger, whatever you can find, and chant in their association. That's the most valuable thing, because you'll overcome fear, you become less doubtful, you become more clear. See? A lot of instructions in this class today. Sorry about that. I'm sorry.
Almost too many.
I know. I'm sorry about that, man. I just...
Getting overwhelmed. I'm almost under the table.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry about this. Please forgive me for this being so offensive today.
I know I can't keep up with that standard.
That's why I say, don't worry about it. Just all in due course. So, okay, here we go. It's going to lighten up, I think. Gathering together with their Lord, the devotees blissfully chanted the holy names day and night. Day and night. All the devotees were there. Only Lord Nityananda was absent. Oh, okay, here we go. We're going to meet Nityananda. We need his help, man. All right. Seeing that his brother was not there, Lord Chaitanya became very unhappy. Lord Chaitanya always meditated on Lord Nityananda. He knew that Lord Nityananda is Anantasesh. Please hear about Lord Nityananda in the form of the sutras. I will now tell something of his birth and activities. In the land of Radhadesh, in the village named Ekachakra, where Lord Nityananda was born. Hey, Manorama said she just went to Ekachakra yesterday or the other day. Just got a message. I've never been there.
Is that near? Where is that near?
It's near Mayapur. Like an hour away or something. Everybody that goes there has amazing reports. Like they really feel something there, going there. A short distance away is a Shiva Linga deity named Madhushvara. Lord Nityananda and Balaram worshipped that deity. In that village lived a Brahmana named Hari Pandit. He was merciful and very renounced. His wife was named Padmavati. She was chaste and devoted to her husband. She was a transcendental potency of Lord Vishnu. She was the mother of the worlds. See, we become the transcendental potency of the Lord by, this is the whole point of sadhana. We're hearing and we're chanting, and ultimately we're like an iron put in a fire, and then that potency begins to radiate from us. See, so that's being a channel for it here. That's why ultimately we have to come to the point of, fixed and focused devotion. See, and that's why I say, okay, so we work for Krishna, we work for the mission and all of that, we're focused. See, and we're hearing and chanting there, we get focused. So it's all about focusing, and to the point where we actually become that like a red hot iron in a fire of devotional service, and you're used in this world. Yeah. So anyway, the Maya is like our teacher and helper in that. It's like, going into a ring and sparring around and boxing, and getting stronger and stronger and stronger, and more determined like this in this. So she's actually helping us in this way. But you can't be inattentive. You got to kind of really be focused more. All right. So for some days, Nityananda enjoyed pastimes in the home of Hari Pandit. Lord Nityananda decided in his heart to leave home. Still, he did not leave, for that would make his mother and father unhappy. There was not a sesame seed's worth of time his mother did not gaze on Lord Nityananda. A moment without him seemed longer than a yuga to the father. You see how any time we're connected, actually you could look at a status update if you want of what I did. It was kind of unusual one, but I had some inspiration to do it. I did it. But it's all about this. If you start to worship Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda and Radha and Krishna, if you do this kind of worship, you will get so attached to the Lord, and you will also feel separation, because that's how we deepen such a relationship. Your ecstasies will be deeper than anyone else's in this who are worshiping other forms of God. I mean, this is the great gift of the Lord. But also the separations will be very deep and very, especially if you don't have a lot of experience and people reflecting to you about that, and that's kind of why I'm doing stuff like this, because it's inevitable. Anybody who becomes attracted to these videos, and all we're doing here is glorifying Radha and Krishna and Lord Chaitanya, you're going to get attached if anyone who stays here. See? And that means great deepening ecstasy, but also separation's going to be there, and nobody wants it. No, they didn't want it, and everything. You see, it would make his mother and father unhappy, but he stayed longer, and it just increased it. And then when he left, then they felt it. Really felt it. But that's how we're learning to deepen our relationship with the Lord in separation. Because what I learned, without that separation, you can't go deeper with God like that. This is kind of how it is for the residents of Braj. This is what Lord Chaitanya came to teach us. Okay? So that's why we have to speak now about these topics as a responsibility to people, because otherwise they'll be like that one lady who watched the video years ago, and she got so much of this love for the Lord awakening in her heart from hearing the glorification of Lord Chaitanya, and then the separation came in, and then she goes to a psychologist and wonders luckily the psychologist was inspired by the Lord and said, well, that's because your material life and attachment to the world is diminishing. And that's exactly what separation does. All the things that we're attached to in the world, especially the impious things, begin the dissolution, dissolving. And then, because then all you can think about is the Lord. Isn't that a great way for sadhana? It's effortless. You just start thinking about the Lord without having to, people on the path of Vaidhi Bhakti and Sadhana Bhakti are trying to get to that point of getting attached to the Lord. Could take them 20, 30, 40, 50, a whole lifetime, and still they're working on it. But if you're associating with those who are attached to the Lord more than yourself, you see that this stuff will start to happen spontaneously. Just, and then you're on the path of, it's just effortless. You just can't wait to meet the Lord. See, that's eager devotion, very advanced stage. And then when the Lord separates, and you can't wait to meet Him again, and you're always thinking about Him. See, you don't have to force yourself to think about Krishna. You just have to. It's where your happiness is, and where are you? So it gets you into one-pointed devotion easily. Yeah. That's like a path of union and separation. It's the greatest path. Okay, that's enough for today, huh? For now. Let's take a break.
You done?
Yeah, I think I better just stop. It's enough. Any comments or questions?
All those instructions kind of wigged me out a little bit.